After an awkward altercation with Cameron in his car, Brenda struggled to sleep. Suddenly, she felt a slight movement by her bed. She opened her eyes to find Silas standing there. Silas gently pulled back the sheet and got into the bed beside Brenda.
Silas, it's so late. Why haven't you slept yet?
Silas played with the bedsheet and did not answer.
Would you like me to tell you a story, Silas?
Yes!
A long, long time ago, there was a little fox who lived alone in the mountains. The fox did not have parents or friends. It would feel envious whenever it saw a flock of little birds flying around. The little fox had heard that humans had the most friends, so the fox had to build good communication skills. After a few years, the fox was very happy and went down to meet his friends. Silas?
Silas had closed his eyes and seemed to have fallen asleep. Brenda couldn't help but notice how his eyes looked like Cameron's.
Good night, Silas.
Brenda and Silas were comfortably sleeping with their heads pressed against each other. Silas put his chubby little feet on Brenda's stomach, and Brenda subconsciously protectively hugged Silas's tiny waist. Cameron gently pushed the door open and looked inside. He pursed his lips and shut the door.
What is it, Jenny? I was having such a nice dream and you ruined it. On a weekend.
Oh, keep quiet. I'm back in town and at the airport now. Hurry and pick me up.
Jenny hung up the phone. Brenda saw that it was just 7:10 and wanted to go back to sleep, but she fought the urge and got out of bed. She kissed Silas on the forehead and got ready to leave. Brenda found Jenny sitting on a chair and playing on her phone.
Big miss.
Jenny looked up and took off her sunglasses. She raised her hand and pinched Brenda's cheek.
This little face has become more tender. Have you secretly found a man behind my back?
Let's go.
We still need to wait for another person.
Who?
Your date, Robert. Here he is.
Brenda wanted to hit Jenny, but her body froze in place. She saw a tall man walking over from the crowd. He wore a black shirt, revealing his good figure. Robert had handsome facial features. However, she was used to seeing Cameron's face, which she was sure could topple cities.
Sorry for the delay.
Robert immediately locked eyes with Brenda's and couldn't stop looking.
Robert, this is my good friend Brenda. Brenda, this is the handsome man I was telling you about.
Robert put his hand forward.
Miss Strong, I've always wanted to meet you.
Brenda did not shake his hand, but only smiled faintly.
Hello.
I finally got your response.
Huh? Did Brenda not respond to you before? Brenda, I asked you to add Robert. Why are you ignoring him?
Brenda couldn't help but glare at the shameless man who was complaining.
It's getting late. Let's go out first. Finally.
Bree, why are you so cold towards Robert? It makes him feel so awkward.
You should have told me that you were bringing him with you.
He really likes you. You should try dating him, Bree.
Jen, I am already married. Don't bother introducing me to anyone else.
Jenny did not know how to react. She froze.
Bree?
Yes.
Brenda put her hand on Jenny's and told her everything that happened with her grandmother and not being able to afford the treatment.
If you needed money, you should have told me, Bree. You shouldn't have sold yourself like that.
You were overseas, and $300,000 isn't a small amount either.
I hope you know that your uncle's family is awful, and they actually don't care about your grandmother. Anyway, what's your husband's name?
Cameron Kent, the son of Richard Kent from Kent Enterprises.
Her voice had a strong sense of pride when she said it. Jenny jumped in excitement.
Brenda, Cameron is the most popular man in Los Angeles. Wow, you are too fantastic.
After Jenny finally processed the information, she said,
But wait, you're married. What about Robert?
You have caused the trouble, now settle it yourself.
I will make it clear to him. He is such a good man. It's a pity you aren't fated together.
Why don't you fall in love with him in that case? Jenny became immediately silent. She hadn't forgotten the pain of her previous relationship. It was late at night, and Brenda was looking for a taxi. Just then, Robert rolls down the window of his white Bentley.
Miss Strong, I'll drop you home.
No need, Robert. I'll take a taxi.
Just then, a taxi pulled up, and Brenda quickly sat inside. Robert left right after. Brenda would never have expected her cousin Linda to be at the same hotel watching all this unfold. Linda was seething with anger and jealousy.
Mom, Brenda was in the hotel, dressed beautifully, trying to pick up a man in a Bentley. She should hang up a sign saying she is available for any man.
Linda, June's daughter, had a charming appearance and always had rich second-generation men spending money on her. She was disturbed when she saw Brenda getting the same attention.
But didn't she marry a rich older man?
Who knows? Maybe that man couldn't satisfy her and she has secretly gone looking for other men. Her husband will be so angry after discovering what she is up to.
What are you thinking of doing, Linda?
Mom, let my brother go and find out who that man in the Bentley was. We will use that as evidence against her. And then we won't have to worry about paying for our house. Brenda will.
June's eyes lit up with her daughter's idea.
This is great. If she wants us to keep it a secret, she must hand over the money.
Brenda felt guilty for returning home so late that she didn't turn on the lights. Brenda got closer to the kitchen door and got worried as the sounds became louder. She picked up a broom next to her and held it up, ready to attack. Just then, Brenda stopped.
Mr. Kent?
The fridge door was open and Cameron was eating ice cream.
Gosh, you scared me. Did you not have dinner?
No.
Let me make you a sandwich then.
Cameron thought for a second and then nodded his head. Brenda started making him a sandwich and hoped he wouldn't investigate about her late return.
The sandwich is ready.
Cameron was calm and composed and started eating his sandwich.
Why did you come back so late? Where were you?
Brenda regretted not going to her room after returning to avoid this line of questioning.
A friend of mine returned to the country today. I stayed with her for the day. Also, I told her about our marriage, but don't worry, she won't tell anyone else about it.
If anyone gets to know, you will be in more trouble, not me.
Cameron stood up and walked towards the door. Suddenly, he stopped.
Oh, and thanks for the sandwich.
Miss Lynn had kept breakfast on the table where Silas was seated. Brenda had just entered.
Good morning, Si. Be a good boy and call me Bree, okay?
Bree!
Call her Miss Strong.
Silas obediently listened to his father.
Miss Strong.
Brenda was speechless. She was only 22 years old and was referred to as an old school teacher. She didn't say anything. Brenda walked towards her bus station. Just then, a familiar Maybach stopped beside her. The window slowly slid down.
Get in.
I can take the bus.
Don't make me repeat myself.
Brenda got inside the car and found Silas sitting inside.
Kim, where are you going with Silas?
Work. Do you have a problem with that?
No.
Brenda thought that it was good Cameron brought Silas to work. At least she would not have to face the pressure of being alone with Cameron. Luca sighed as she drove. She thought of many ways to please Silas, but only Brenda could touch and kiss him. Suddenly, a loud sound was heard. Brenda hit the tip of her chair in front of her. She got up and looked back to see the car's rearview mirror had shattered.
Mr. Kent, there's an ambush!
What? While they were talking, another gunshot was heard, which hit the roof of their car. Cameron's face was red with rage.
Luca, speed up and go towards the main road.
Yes, sir.
Cameron made a phone call.
Ambush in Maywood. Bring people here immediately. I am sending you the location.
Cameron held Silas in his arms and looked at Brenda.
Brenda, I am going to hand Silas over to you. Protect him well. Will you be okay?
Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to Silas. Cameron took out a pistol, opened the door, and jumped out before Brenda could say anything to stop him. Brenda held Silas tightly as Luca drove the car at top speed. Will Brenda, Silas, and Cameron return to safety alive?
Hi, Brenda here. Hope you are loving Love Bargain. Keep following us as we release a new episode of Season 1 daily on YouTube. You can jump the queue and unlock all seasons of the audio series by installing the Pocket FM app now. Just click on the link in the description. To watch the next episode of Season 1, tap here, and to watch the full Season 1, click on the playlist.